Good afternoon. This is Campbell McCrary from Amvest Capital here in New York City. Welcome to the Amvest Capital Inc. live webinar with Forum Energy Metals. Forum trades on the venture as FMC and as FDCFF on the OTC. We hope you enjoy today's program. It will also be available in replay mode. Feel free to chat in your questions in the question pane of GoToWebinar, or simply email them in and we'll ask them in real time. This replay will be available about an hour after this session, amvestcapital.com/webinars. Amvest is a New York-based specialist investment bank and investment management corporate finance firm focused solely on the natural resources sector. Lots of disclaimers these days. This call is most definitely for informational purposes only. Please read this. We're pleased to have with us today Kurt Mazur, who is the president and CEO of Forum. He's an executive and professional geoscientist with over 45 years of Canadian and international experience in the exploration and mining industry. He's a project geologist, financial analyst, and senior executive on uranium, gold, diamonds, base metals, coal, and industrial mineral projects. He was a founder of Forum in 2004. He's also a director of Big Ridge Gold, Empress Royalty, Impact Silver, and Midnight Sun Mining. Again, following the presentation, members of Amvest Capital will ask questions of Rick, and we'll incorporate the questions that have been sent in from the listening audience. So I can see you, Rick. I see your presentation. If you could put it in slideshow mode, and we'll learn about your story.
Okay, get it up here.
There you go.
Everything good?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Campbell.
Thank you
for that kind introduction, and welcome everyone. We'll just takes a little time here for the presentation to. There we go. So forward-looking statement, we are an exploration company. So I started this company in 2004 as a uranium exploration company. And we explored for uranium for a good 12 years and put together an excellent portfolio of uranium exploration assets in the Athabasca Basin of Saskatchewan, Canada. But about 4 years ago, we recognized the trend in our economy, a transition to a carbon-free economy to the green economy. So we thought, as a board, that we better look into diversifying into other energy metals. And our number one target was copper. 4 years ago, I scoured the planet for copper projects, and much to my surprise, there was a tremendous project right in our backyard in Saskatchewan, which we acquired, and we changed the name of the company from Forum Uranium to Forum Energy Metals. Since then, we've also picked up a tremendous nickel project, and as one of my investors likes to call Forum, he says, "You are the triple threat in the energy metals business." So kind of like that. So our business plan and model for the last 17 years has been to identify quality opportunities. We are focused in Saskatchewan, so we look for underexplored assets. We acquire them through opportunistic acquisitions or through staking. Our business model is to add value by doing good science, good research, and get at least one drill program into the project to do a proof of concept. Then we find a major company partner to do the heavy lifting to make the discoveries. Since 2004, we've raised over $45 million to affect this business model, and we've brought in about $100 million in joint ventures. So where are we at today? Forum has a copper project, which Rio Tinto has joint ventured for $30 million. We have a uranium project, several uranium projects, of course, but one that has been joint ventured with Orano, the very large French nuclear corporation, for $6 million. And we have a nickel, copper, palladium asset, early stage, but very exciting in Saskatchewan, that we own 100%. Saskatchewan is the #1 province to explore in Canada, as far as I'm concerned, and has been voted that way by the Fraser Institute for some time now. Management is very committed to the company. We hold 10% of the shares, and we are a strong technical team, technically driven company, looking for underexplored and opportunistic investments, and I think we have the business acumen to make the deals with the partners, as we've demonstrated with the major mining companies. Looking at, I think Campbell pointed out our stock symbols. We have a application in to go QB on the OTC. It's imminent. I was disappointed that we didn't quite get it by this webinar, but I think we're probably a week away. 144 million shares on off outstanding. We have 36 million warrants, all in the money, amounting to some close to $5 million. Fully diluted, we're 190 million shares outstanding. Market capitalization right now is 50 million. We have about 3 million cash in the bank. 1.4 million of that is budgeted for exploration. 1.7 million is there for G&A with a $70,000 burn rate. We run a pretty lean ship here at Forum. We've got lots of money to keep going, and the stock's trading at 35 cents. Ranges from 5 to 40. Daily volume is about 700,000 this year, and that's because we have a big retail following. About 75% of the stock is retail, 10% is management held, as I mentioned, about 8% institutional, and 7% here through property transactions with Transition Metals and Ross Beatty's Lumina Cobalt company. So I'm a geologist, and I mentioned I started the company in 2004, but I cut my teeth in the uranium exploration business in the 70s. And then after the 70s, 80s, 90s, got involved in gold and copper exploration, diamonds, have done a little bit of everything. So in 2004, we started Forum as a uranium company. I attracted some pretty strong uranium folks to the team. My vice president of exploration, Ken Wheatley here, joined the company in 2007. He's got over 40 years of continuous uranium exploration experience in the Athabasca Basin, formerly with Orano and Uraners, where we also brought in Boone Tan as a geological consultant to the company. Boone discovered the very large 200 million pound Key Lake uranium deposit. which was in production for over 20 years. And he has a database that is probably one of the best in the basin. So he's a really good guy to have for understanding the geology in the basin. We've just signed on a new CFO, Dan O'Brien. I wanted to get myself a good, strong CFO in anticipation of the company moving from the exploration to the development stage with the quality assets that we have. And Jackie Collins, my corporate secretary, has been with me from the start, and she keeps me on the straight and narrow. My directors, Anthony Baum and I started the company in 2004. So Anthony's been there from the start. Has been very supportive financially, as has some new directors that we've brought on board. Burns here is London-based as well, and Paul Dennison, based in Zurich, being formerly with 3 leading investment banks. Without these gentlemen, who are major shareholders of Forum, it would have been tough getting through the last 8 years of the bear market in this commodity space. Larry, David, and Mike, they all keep me on a good ESG path. So we've all seen the Lassonde curve. Forum is a discovery company, and with $6 million and $30 million and $1 million in drilling, $37 million hopefully in total. We think that we are going to make ourselves a discovery. We've got some tremendous assets. And this is the year, we think, because we've got a good year set for news flow with a $7 million drill budget. 5 drills will be turning on 3 different projects. 2 of the projects are joint venture funded by Orano and Rio Tinto, and the third project is funded by Forum. So Janus Lake Copper is the Rio Tinto joint venture. We think that they'll be active throughout the whole year. For Island, the Orano joint venture in uranium, we're going to be drilling in about 2 days. Rio Tinto is drilling right now on our copper project. We've got a uranium project that we acquired early last year. We'll do a little bit of work, geophysics on that. And our Love Lake nickel palladium project, which is 100% owned by Forum. We're going to start with the geophysical survey in May and get that drilled in July. We also have a strategic claim in the Idaho Cobalt Belt, and we'll put a little bit of exploration work on that as well. But the main focus is Janus Lake Copper with Rio Tinto, Fur Island Uranium with Orano, and our Love Lake Nickel Palladium project, which we're going to drill ourselves. So the reason we wanted to get into copper was that all sustainable industries need copper. Wind and solar are all copper intensive. An average internal combustion engine is 50 pounds of copper. An average battery electric vehicle uses 175 pounds of copper, not to mention the charging station infrastructure that's required. So the compounded annual growth rate over the next 10 years is anticipated at 3%. We see tremendous growth in copper. So that's why we got we're really focused on it when we got involved and diversified into energy metals about 4 years ago. So our copper project is called the Janus Lake Copper Silver Project. What really attracted us to this project was it is what we call a sedimentary copper deposit, and these deposits are large. The comp to our Janus Lake project is a deposit called Udakan in Siberia. It's a supergiant. It's 58 billion pounds of copper. It probably was formed around the same time as Janus Lake, probably in the same sedimentary basin. So that's why Rio Tinto is very interested in it. Ivanhoe, Kamoa-Kakula in the DRC, 25 billion pounds of copper. That's a sedimentary copper project as well. So these are great projects to get involved in. So we optioned this from a junior, 100% of it in 2018 for $500,000 in cash and shares. We went and raised $500,000. It was the hardest $500,000 I ever had to raise in 2018, and drilled 4 holes. We intersected over 5 meters of 2% copper, which attracted the attention of quite a number of the major copper producers. But at the end of the day, Rio Tinto came through. We did a joint venture with them in 2019. They drilled it that very year in 2019. 2020, they did a bunch of mapping, geochemistry, and geophysics, just really good exploration work. And their second drill campaign is underway as we speak. It's nice to have the expertise that a major company can bring to make a discovery. So what's the deal with the Rio Tinto option joint venture agreement? They can earn 80% by spending $30 million over a 7-year period. Forum would retain a 20% interest. In 2019, the first budget year, they spent $3.7 million drilling 5,000 meters of core. And this second budget year, I think they're going to be spending over $10 million or over $7 million, which will get them to the point where they can earn a 51% interest after spending $10 million. And then they have the second option to move forward to earn 80%. This year they built a big camp right on site of the project. So one of the big things that Rio Tinto likes is the land position that we had when we staked this. We've got a 50-kilometer trend of the project. This is a district. It's not just going to be one deposit. Infrastructure is good. This is a highway that goes up to Orano's uranium mill. An access trail, winter access trail or winter haul road was built by Rio Tinto. As you can see, this is a summer view of it to mobilize in drills and equipment and that camp. And a power line runs right through the project. So infrastructure is actually tremendous. In 2019, Rio Tinto got good results and are very pleased with they've seen. That's why they built that big camp and built that big road in there. So as you can see, the copper horizons here are shallowly dipping. It's only been drilled down to less than 150 meters so far, and open pit depths of 250 are typical. So there's lots of potential along strike and down dip. This is going to be what they're looking for is several deposits with open pit potential. All the boxes were checked off for Rio Tinto. We had over 50 kilometers of a district, so we basically staked the whole thing with multiple copper targets on the property. The grades from their 2019 drilling met their criteria. They're seeing good thicknesses of good grades of copper for an open pit deposit. And the mineral is a mineral called chalcocite, which is a very high grade copper mineral. And it will produce a very high quality concentrate that smelters will take from around the world. Last summer, what did we accomplish? Well, the camp got built. They did a really good job of just good exploration work, methodical geological, geophysical, and geochemical work. And through that process, 3 new drill targets have been identified for drilling this year. And the plan is to drill 6,000 meters with 2 drills, and they're on the property as we speak. So that's the Janus Lake Copper Project. That's certainly one of our flagships. But here's another one that I think has tremendous potential for discovery as well. And catalyst for this company is going to be discovery. We worked in Saskatchewan for many years. It's the home of the world's highest grade uranium mines. We developed 7 quality uranium projects that have all had really, as I said, in our business models, do good research, do good work, and drill it. All of these have been drilled. Every one of these have been drilled by us, and they need further drilling because we're getting close to perhaps another uranium discovery. So the Fur Island project caught the attention of Orano, and they have taken a shine to this project. We acquired it in 2014 for $100,000 in cash and shares at that time when there was the big uranium boom and then people were leaving. So we just talk about opportunistic investing. We grabbed onto a really good project where someone lost interest. The next year in 2015, we drilled 10 holes, and we think we've discovered a district scale uranium trend. Uranium business was tough from 2015 till about now, which it's really come back. It wasn't until 2019 when Orano came in with a $6 million option to joint venture to earn 70% interest in this project. They immediately did a geophysical survey, then drilled it in 2020, and the second drill campaign should start in a couple of days on this Fur Island uranium project. What's got Orano so excited? This is a cross section of the Fur Island drilling that we did in 2015, and the unconformity where these deposits occur is only about 150 to 250 meters depth, which is open pit depth potential. We like that, and from the standpoint of low operating costs and capital costs, the Fur Island is located within trucking distance of Orano's McLean Lake mill, and mills tend to be hungry beasts, and they need more mill feed for the future. So that's what gravitated them to our project. 2 drills are currently on the property. 6,000 meters are planned. Forum is the operator, and that's because, as I mentioned, Ken Wheatley, our VP Exploration, used to work at Orano and has tons of experience. No better guy that, as far as I'm concerned, that there is to make a discovery for us. So moving on to our third project, nickel, of course, Elon Musk is crying for nickel deposits. There's going to be huge demand for nickel in the future to fuel the EV growth. But the palladium and platinum, or the platinum group metals, are also generally always associated with the type of deposit we're looking for, and they're needed for catalytic converters for internal combustion engines, and as hydrogen fuel cells growth grows, and it will, palladium is used as a catalyst in those fuel cells. So our nickel palladium project is called the Love Lake project. In 2019, while we were basically negotiating and closing the Rio Tinto joint venture, we started scouring Saskatchewan for other energy metal prospects, and much to our surprise, this large layered complex with multiple nickel, copper, platinum, and palladium showings was open for staking, and we jumped on it and staked it for about $30,000. Then we went out, and I guess I've been in the business long enough. I know enough people. I got Larry Hulbert involved in the project, and Larry is an expert in these types of deposits, and he's guiding us in the exploration of this project, so that in the second part of our business model, is just doing good science, good research, good geology. So he's been guiding us on that. Forum conducted an airborne mag survey in 2020 and analyzed all the geochemistry. We think we have some very strong prospects for magmatic nickel copper deposits and feeder zones. So what we're going to do is conduct an airborne EM survey this May and drill it this summer. And this is part of our game plan. Then we'll go out and seek a major company partner once we've done the proof of concept that a major deposit could be on our Love Lake project. So here's the mag survey that we did. Each one of those little red blobs there could be a potential feeder zone. So we have 5 potential feeders. This May, we've already contracted a geophysical company to do electromagnetic surveys over each of those 5 areas. A road runs right through this one. That's why it's called the road. And you can't have better logistics than that. The type of deposit we're looking for here is a Voisey's Bay type deposit, or a recent discovery in Australia by Chalice Mining called the Julimar. It's a very, very similar type of target that we're looking for there. And that's my presentation. The triple threat of foreign energy metals, copper, silver prospect, several uranium prospects, and a nickel, platinum, palladium prospect to fuel the green economy that's coming our way. Thanks.
Thank you, Rick. Let's dive in. Had some questions that were sent in. We've got a few of our own questions. Does the LFP pose a threat to nickel and electric batteries due to Tesla and other EV manufacturers switching to iron cathode in China? Is that also a correct statement?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. What are Forum's financial obligations in the two JVs, if any?
Yeah, so these are after Rio Tinto spends $30 million. It's an 80-20 joint venture. We'll have to come up with our 20% of the costs at that time to stay in the joint venture. Same with Orano. After $6 million of expenditure and they earn 70%, we'll have to come up with 30% of the cost to maintain a 30% equity interest.
All right. What are the values and dimensions of the geochemical anomalies at Janus and Love Lake?
Oh, the values and dimensions. At Janus, there are copper showings over 8 kilometers, several copper showings, 20 to be exact. We have over 50 kilometers of ground that we staked. We're getting anything grades of copper of 0.2% to 2% on surface. We're getting grab samples of 100 ppm copper. You have to remember that the Saskatchewan is kind of outcrops and then boggy and muskegee areas. So the exposure is about of rock is maybe 30 to 40% over the whole project area. This summer's mapping did identify another area where there was anomalous copper, good lithologies or good rocks that would host further copper mineralization about 16 kilometers south of the 8-kilometer area that I speak of, where surface showings have been found. So that's going to be a focus of Rio Tinto's summer exploration work to target some drill targets 16 kilometers away from the current drill area.
All right. What is the host rock of copper silver mineralization at Janus Lake? Amphibian pilites?
No, it's Paleoproterozoic. And these rocks that host the mineralization are, for simplicity, they're sandstones or shaly sandstones. They've been metamorphosed slightly, and the prospective horizons, sandstone and shaly sandstone horizons, occur within a conglomerate base and conglomerate on top. And what we think has happened is that solutions with copper in them have been flowing through these sandstones in between these conglomerates and depositing copper and forming these deposits.
All right. Stu will give you a chance. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation, Rick. So whilst you have your exploration model on the 100% owned assets, what do you look for in concessions or districts before you start staking ground? Because I understand you go from 100% model until this discovery.
First thing, I guess, is Ken's been working in Saskatchewan for 40 years, and I've been there now for 17 years. So we have a pretty good handle on what's going on in Saskatchewan geology. We certainly know our way around acquiring ground and what the local situations are like. We know how to dig into the assessment files and that the Saskatchewan Geological Survey have available, and just a lot of background knowledge. So yeah, we look for we look for old showings that have been explored back in the day and never really followed up for whatever reason. I mean, Janus Lake was drilled in 1969, and then just had very sporadic drill campaigns afterwards. Noranda drilled it in the 80s, and then they changed their business and got into the smelting business and got out of exploration. Then Phelps Dodge had one drill campaign on Janus Lake in the early 2000s, and then got taken over by Freeport-McMoRan, and then it got lost again. So yeah, just looking at old data and also coming up with some new exploration concepts as well. We'll do that.
Yeah, okay. And then you mentioned Rio Tinto is looking in this area for several open pit copper deposits. How would permitting an open pit copper mine go in Saskatchewan?
I think it would go. You'd have to go up to northern Saskatchewan to realize what kind of country you're in there. It's a lot of scrub bush. I think if it infringed on a lake, it might have some environmental not constraints, but you'd have to look into draining a lake or something like that. But where these occurrences are right now is on pretty good high ground. That's
Yep, okay, thanks. And then are there any, obviously the Athabasca Basin is prolific for uranium exploration and production. Are there any people in your area, Janus Lake and Love Lake, exploring for copper using a similar strategy to yourselves?
Yeah, there's other juniors that have claims in the area. Along what we call the Wollaston Copper Belt. The eastern margin of the Wollaston Basin it seems to be base metal rich, whereas the western margin is uranium rich. So there are a number of juniors that have staked some ground on that trend.
Yeah, okay. And then as operator in your other joint ventures, do you get like operator fees at all?
Yes. For the Orano joint venture for interest, we were getting a 10% management fee. And that goes straight to paying the heat and light bills for the company.
Yeah, that's great. And then just one last one for me before I pass to Gabe. In one of your slides, you listed how much Rio Tinto spent in 2019. I was just curious, how much did they spend last calendar year, 2020, roughly?
Yeah, well, our budget year goes from May to May. So from May 2019 to May 2020 was 3.7 million. And since then, they've had a summer work program and added the road costs and the camp costs as well. And then the drilling this winter of 2021 up until this coming May, I'm guessing it will be in and around $7 million in total. We'll get those final numbers from Rio Tinto when we have our annual management meeting.
All right, thanks for that. Gabe.
Thanks. Eric, just in terms of the outstanding warrants and the current cash position, can you let us know if there's been any exercise and what the current cash balance is of the company?
Yeah, the current cash balance is $2.6 million. There have been a lot of the 10-cent warrants have been exercised just in the last couple of months, and the remaining 10, 14, and 20-cent options or warrants amount to about $4.8 million. And when we I think once we get some drill success here, those warrants should get exercised.
Great. I'll start with uranium, and then I'll move on to the other commodities. So in terms of the projects, have you done radiometric surveys? And if so, sort of what portion of the land package has been covered by those?
Radiometric surveys were something that was done way back in the 70s when they were just learning that the Athabasca Basin was prospective for uranium. These deposits occur under a thick sandstone layer of the Athabasca sandstone. The deposits that were at the margins of the sandstone have all been sort of picked up by airborne radiometric surveys in the past. I think the trick right now with uranium exploration in the Athabasca Basin is understanding the structural fabric and the architecture of the basin, and finding them deeper down with geochemical methods, identifying alteration minerals that are associated with uranium. I don't think radiometric surveys now are going to be much help. Finding old boulders on surface near the margins of this sandstone basin margin certainly can lead you to uranium deposits. Our Wollaston project actually that we picked up by staking not even a year ago. It came open. Someone dropped the ground. I mean, people weren't interested in uranium a year ago. So that's our backyard. We picked it up. It's on the margins of the basin. There's radioactive boulders on surface there. Key Lake mine was discovered that way, and of course the Fission Triple R deposit was discovered that way, and so we think that the Wollaston project could have that kind of potential.
Interesting. So in terms of the depth of the mineralization on average, that you're encountering, what would that be?
Did you say depth?
The depth, yeah, of mineralization, yeah.
Well, our business model from day one, having been a uranium geologist back in the 70s, and understanding how costly it is to explore for these deposits with deep sandstone cover. From day one, our business model was to look for deposits that could be open pittable around the margins of the basin. And if you look at our claim map, you'll see that all of our claims are at the margin or just outside the margin with no sandstone cover. So to answer your question, either right on surface, like our Key Lake Road projects at Costigan and High Rock, to within 300 meters open pit depth limits on all our other projects.
Sorry, understood. And then in terms of operational mills within the area, are there any?
Oh yeah. So there's 3 mills. One in the south, the Key Lake mill, which was built when the Key Lake deposit was discovered by our consultant Buntan. That mill is owned by is operated by Chemical, and then there's 2 mills in the north edge of the basin, the Rabbit Lake Mill, which is a Chemical mill that's shut down, and the McLean Lake Mill, which is operated by Orano, and Dennison is a partner in that mill. So there's 2 operating mills at this point in time.
Got it. And then in terms of, you mentioned this sort of triple threat. Could you, if there was one commodity that you're most exposed to, what would that be?
Well, we've got a lot of uranium prospects, which are, in my view, good optionality plays. If uranium price catches up with the way the people see the supply-demand fundamentals coming about, yeah, we've got a really good portfolio of uranium properties. But I'll tell you, right now the Rio Tinto option on Janus Lake is a flagship, because this could be a very large sedimentary copper deposit.
Excellent. Okay, I'll pass over to Campbell for
Copper and uranium to answer your question.
Yep.
I'll tell you, we'll find out this summer when we poke our first holes into our nickel copper PGM play.
Excellent. Thank you.
Janus Lake, how important is it to Rio?
Janus Lake last year was its second largest copper exploration project in the world. The only other bigger one was Winu in Western Australia.
Okay. With that, I think we're going to close. We've gotten through a lot of questions, and you need to get back to work. You've got a lot of drilling to do, so some exciting things. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and please share your feedback when we cue you for it. It'll get straight to Rick. And thank you, Gemini Capital. And you can get a copy of the replay at amvestcapital.com/webinars in about an hour, and other webinars as well. So I'll give it back to you, Rick, for your turn to close the event. So anything you want to say?
Oh, well, just thanks for the opportunity, Campbell.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your listeners for tuning in. I think we've got an exciting year ahead of us. Lots of drilling, lots of potential on 3 very sought after commodities, and we could be a much different company in 2022.
You have 3 company makers there, so that's 3 times the odds. 3 juniors and 1. So
Okay.
I like that.
So there's another line. There's another line for me. Thanks, Campbell.
You got it. Good night. Cheers.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.